Hi everyone, this is Mr. Trio, and I know that sometimes when we talk about historic events, they seem like they were a long time ago in a place far, far away. Well, today I am hunting down a history mystery about the plague, not somewhere thousands of miles away, but here in Hong Kong. So today I am going to the Hong Kong Museum of Medical Sciences to learn about how the plague came here to Hong Kong in the 19th century and how the people of Hong Kong reacted and tried to solve this problem. I hope you enjoy our virtual field trip today. Our story begins in the Tai Ping Shan neighborhood of Hong Kong. Today, of course, the neighborhood is known for its trendy coffee places and also a place where people go to visit the historic Man Mo Temple. But in 1894, it was one of the most densely populated parts of the new British colony. At that time, there was a great deal of mistrust between the local population and the British government. In some cases, the British government would do things and the local population would not be told about it in advance, or they didn't understand it. The context of the 1894 outbreak of the plague occurred at the time of a Qingming festival, where there were a large number of people that had come to the city recently from Guangzhou, and they were celebrating, which meant that there was a great number of people in close proximity to each other. At that time, the British military was sent into the neighborhood in order to help stop the spread of the plague. In some cases, the local population hid family members from the British because they did not know what the British were going to do with their bodies, and this helped to make the plague even spread further. Ultimately, the military was ordered to burn almost all the possessions of the local population, and ultimately this did help bring an end to the spread. Not before at least 20,000 people died in this neighborhood. They did establish a hospital in Kennedy Town with the Tung Wah Hospital Group, and this did help to relieve some tension between the two, but ultimately they realized that in order to help stop the spread of the plague and other infectious diseases, a better solution had to be found. Why was the Bactorial Institute built? This solution came in the form of the establishment of the Hong Kong Bactorial Institute. An Edwardian-style building was constructed in the heart of the Tai Ping Shan neighborhood at the beginning of the 20th century, and its mission was to help stop the spread of the plague and other diseases. Even though 1894 was the largest outbreak of the plague did exist in Hong Kong from time to time up until the 1920s. By the early 20th century, science had progressed to the point where it was well known that the plague was spread by a bacteria, and the cycle for how the disease transmitted from fleas to rats to humans and then ultimately from person to person was well known. This institute was a research laboratory in order for scientists in Hong Kong to essentially track the plague, and when an outbreak occurred, tried to stomp it out as quickly as possible. Rats were the key to understanding the spread of the plague because they could be captured and dissected. Can you tell which of these rats has the nodes that indicate that it has been infected by the plague bacteria? Throughout the city, canisters were set up, and at that time you could make a rat deposit and help your community keep the plague under control. Much later, new hospitals were set up and new laboratories, but the historic building still had a purpose. In the early 1990s, a museum was set up, which is now called the Hong Kong Museum of Medical Sciences, where people can visit today and learn more about the spread of infectious diseases and its history within Hong Kong. They have wonderful displays, including one of my favorite, which includes this cow, which shows how cows could be used to create inoculations for a variety of different diseases. How embarrassing. Thank you for visiting with me on this virtual tour. And of course, we'll be talking more about this subject in class.